Last week, on the Lords of Grantham podcast, we were talking the Buccaneers, Season 2, Episode 4. In that episode, Nan finally reconnected with Guy. They shacked up, and she said, you know what? Not for me. Not now. I can't do this. And she left. You know who was also shacking up? Theo and Lizzy. Yeah, I know they only started talking a few episodes ago, but they're kind of a thing right now. So let's follow up on that, because Lizzy's getting married, and see what happens and more this week on the Lords of Grantham podcast.
And we are back. The Buccaneers, Season 2, Episode 5, A Whole Love. I mean, if you said that in a different pronunciation, it might be a little dirty. You put the emphasis on the A.
The emphasis on the whole, yeah. It might be for some of the characters on the show, you know?
Hey, yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's going on. We're only shown so much.
Yeah.
Corey, what's going on?
Not too much, Dave. I went out with the old coworkers tonight, had a couple drinks. It's been a couple hours, but I'm ready to talk about the Buccaneers.
Oh boy!
How about you?
So, the beverage watch of the night is alcohol today for Corey.
Yeah.
It's not water. It's not Gatorade.
I got some water right here.
Or soda.
I got some water right here.
Okay. Well, I'm doing fine. Before
Okay.
I have two pieces of information that I want to say in the beginning of this podcast. One is very specific to a few people. Mm-hmm. One is for everybody. So I'll start with the one for everybody. For those of you that might not be aware, I am in a band as well as co-hosting this podcast, and I've been in this band for 15 years. And we went to the recording studio in 2019 before the pandemic and started working on an album. Pandemic happened. We lost track of things. And now, in 2025, we have released our very first single since I've been in the band. The band is called Tempest Edge, and the single is Monster in the Mirror. And I think it's a rock song, pretty hard rock song for our listeners that might not be into that. But if you are a fan of rock music and supporting us further, check it out. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got a lot more funk to it than I expected. But then again, the album came out in 2009, the first album from this band, and you weren't part of that. So
Second album. There's the EP in 05.
Okay, so first full studio album came out in 2009.
Yeah, well, I think it's all EPs, unfortunately. And I think this one's going to be an EP.
I have the
album. Yeah,
album.
but it's an EP. It's like 8 songs. It's not at full length.
To each their own, man. I think an 8 song is an LP.
I do too, but I'm just telling you what's being told to me. I say, let's put out this music that we're done. So, yeah, check it out. I'll put the link in the description. It's on whatever streamer you use.
Mm-hmm. It's a good song. It rocks.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It's one that I'm happy that is out. So,
there you go.
Long time in the band. Glad that the first song out is the song that the bass part is the lead part. So, patting myself on the back. And the second thing, there's been a few Patreon patrons that are not in our Facebook group, but then unfortunately what happens is listeners of this podcast click to join our Facebook group because they think it's a community that any listeners can join. And sometimes I just reject people as the moderator of that group, and then I'll go on Patreon because Patreon is really terrible with notifications. And I'll look and I'll see like 2 or 3 names of new patrons that are like, I might have rejected that person. I don't remember. It was like a week ago. So if you are a patron who has signed up and is not in our Lords of Grantham Lounge group on Facebook, do that again and message us on Patreon. I've reached out to a few people. I don't want people to be deprived of their rights as patrons. And to anyone listening to this who's like, oh, maybe I'll check it out, just know that it's not our fault. Patreon is terrible with notifications. I've been trying, so that's that. Those are my 2 things. Any news in the front of our shows, Corey? There's one big piece of news. One brick of news.
Well, so our listeners aren't the only ones sitting outside of an important circle. Prince Andrew, or should I say Andrew, has been removed from the royal lineage. He is no longer referred to as a prince. He's had to give up his style, his titles, and honors. So we all know he's tied to Epstein. A lot of stories about Prince Andrew being a pedophile. They make allusions to it on The Crown. Sorry to say, Andrew, you're no longer a part of the family.
Great.
Of The Crown, yeah.
On a more positive note.
Was that the news you had, Dave?
No, the news that I had was we're getting a Downton Abbey Lego set.
Oh, okay. Tell me more about that.
So one of our patrons, again, perks of the Patreon, posted in our Facebook group some Lego ideas thing that got the green light, and it's Downton Abbey, Highclere Castle, and it looks like a giant thing about
You mean
giant set with like
Highclere
20
Castle.
characters.
Yeah.
Highclere Castle with Downton Abbey. It's in kayfabe, but it looks like it's going to have a lot of minifigs of our favorite characters. And as someone that's been knocking on the social media's door and Reddit about how come there's no Downton Abbey Funko Pops, a Lego set is like, holy moly, this is pretty great.
The detail, the attention to detail on it is fantastic. Like, even if you're on the fence, once you take a look at it, it's like, I want that. It just looks so cool.
I feel like it's a must-buy. It's probably going to be very expensive.
Probably.
But,
dude, in this line of Legos, because it was one of 6 announcements that they made of, like, new Lego sets that they have coming out for Downton Abbey, or not Downton Abbey, but of, like, themed Lego sets. One of them was the Megazord from Power Rangers, and I was like, I really, really want that. And it breaks off into 5 different Zords that make into the one Megazord. Put that next to Downton Abbey, man, and I'm a happy man.
Hey, yeah. Well, now Downton Abbey will join the ranks of Spider-Man and Star Wars, so there'll be little minifigs of Mr. Bates that you can put right next to Luke Skywalker.
There you go.
The Black Panther, Iron Man, anybody. The
Yoda.
Ninja Turtles. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. It's better news than Prince Andrew being stripped of his royal title.
No, I'm pretty glad about this. It's overdue.
Yeah. Well, while we're on the subject of royalty, we've got a Duchess to talk about. Where do we want to start with this episode of the Buccaneers? Because I feel like it's a very straightforward episode.
It is a very straightforward episode. Well, it starts with Theo playing some cricket.
Yep. Alone.
That's what we think. Up until someone catches the ball with their foot, and it's none other than Lizzy. And
then just like that, we get a in-depth montage of them getting down once again.
Making love. Sweet, sweet love. It's raining outside. They're just enjoying their time together. And then they're having a cute moment of talking about the clothes to wear. Maybe she should throw on some pants. But, they mentioned that, well, you got your wedding coming up. We know you got to get going to that. And guess who's back, though? Ruining the fun that they're having.
Man, she's home.
And Lizzy goes into hiding.
So I guess our thing last week of will she walk in? But not quite is the answer.
I did get nervous when they're like just kind of free balling it with the windows open. There's no like shades drawn. And it's like, what if Nan were to walk in on this? And so, yeah, Lizzy is just hiding behind behind some stuff, which
they'd make a point to show her bare feet and her like head peeking out. Which again, maybe you don't do that, Lizzy.
Yeah,
maybe just wait.
They may see you, but at the same time, Nan did say, "I'm moving on. I'm going back to get Guy." So honestly, Lizzy, if she just showed up and said, "Hello, I'm here," what's Nan going to say to that? What can she say to that?
I mean, she can say it would be hypocritical, but she could say, "Aren't you engaged?" Would she even know that about the engagement, or did she disappear?
Yeah. She was there at the engagement party.
Okay, yeah. The birthday party that became an engagement party.
Yeah. But yeah, Lizzy runs away, and then Nan comes to Theo with her proposition.
Yeah, and Theo's like, you got to let me put my clothes on. I've been hanging out here, pecs out, abs out, painting, doodling, drawing.
Just let me put some pants on.
Well, you've been going out to hang with my man Guy in Italy.
And it's really because he doesn't want her to find Lizzy. I think they could have had the conversation with just his drawers on, but
yeah,
he's like, no. Let me get my pants on. And so she's like, look, we can't get divorced, but if we just keep up appearances until this bill is passed that we've spoken so much about at length on this show.
It's a Han Solo dice of the Buccaneers.
Seriously. There's a chance that Ginny can return without jeopardizing, her welfare. And then after that, they can kind of just live out their lives separately and keep up appearances. And she says, I owe you that.
Yeah, and she also finds out that that Theo's mom fessed up on her end. So I feel like this is a show that's like trying to teeter around the fact that these two do have a connection.
No,
but
I don't think so.
Well, I think it's trying. It like does its best to establish that like they can get along, but then it'll be like, but I don't want anything to do with you. I want to be done with you. But this show is rooted in them, like a love triangle that is an actual love triangle, and not like I want nothing to do with you. I want to be with a guy. And all of a sudden, this season, it's like we forget that those two had a lot in common. You know?
I don't see that anymore. Like it really does feel like Theo is a prisoner of this situation that his mom and Nan constructed.
Yeah, yeah.
And when Nan makes that proposition of and says, "I owe you that," that actually like actively made me mad. Like that like you owe him that? You ruined this guy's life. You straight up entrapped this man in a marriage, knowing full well you weren't in love with him because you're trying to protect your sister. I understand, to protect your sister. But to say you owe him that, you literally ruined his life. He can't literally get divorced or do what he wants because he was in love with you and then you lied to him and fell in love with someone else. So, like, I'm sorry, Nan, this is not enough. Like,
no.
I don't know if there's enough to actually make up for this. He literally cannot live a full-fledged life because of you. So I was just like, if you think this is going to be enough, I don't know if there is anything that's enough here. Congratulations, writers of the show. You made Nan very unlikable.
I feel like everybody's unlikable.
No, I agree too, and we'll unpack more of that as we move along. I'm not saying I'm siding with Theo.
Well, we can come back to Nan and Theo later.
Well, why don't we talk about Ginny and Seaton in isolation?
Yeah, because they are very much isolated. Ginny, do we want to talk about the whole Italy of it all, or do you
let's
just
talk
want
about Ginny?
So yeah, Ginny's continuing to see, Lord Jim Seaton, and I feel like this is a pretty simple story that opens itself up for whatever's coming next. This is very much a middle episode for this point in their arc.
Yeah. So again, Seaton's being much friendlier to her than he has been before she left, and trying to make a bridge for them to kind of see a future together. Where she's saying, "I've kind of made a home here of Italy," and he's like, "This isn't home. You gotta go back to where you came from. Like, we gotta go back to London and stuff." And
he's playing it super cool, where he's like,
Yeah.
"Look, I just want to win your trust. What do I have to do?"
And she's like, "Well, Freddie, Nan, that's what I call home." There's a moment though where he grabs her wrist or like puts his hand on her wrist, and I think it doesn't have the effect that he thinks. Where he's like trying to show affection, but I think it maybe triggers a little bit of something in Ginny of like, this guy laid hands on me.
Yeah, you don't say. And he's, there's a moment where they're walking in the park and like he picks up Freddie, and she has this sort of look on her face of this feels right. This is family.
Yeah.
And you have this sense of dread for her because, and I think this episode does a really good job of showing you how alone she is. Yeah. Because Nan and Guy clearly didn't work. Nan had to leave. Nan went back home, and she claims this big, beautiful bill is going to help Ginny come back. But we don't know how long that's going to take. It could take months. Meanwhile, Guy is out there with Nan. We did see that longing look that Ginny gave him a couple weeks ago when he's sleeping on the couch, like, man, this guy really is my savior. He's taking care of the baby. And as this episode unfolds, we see more.
It's like a college dorm room. The people are banging it out next door, and she's alone.
And Seaton is kind of like, she's starting to look at Seaton and say, this is an out. A lot of women have dealt with. I'm sure plenty of women in that era of history were seriously, emotionally, and physically abused by their partners. And that was just the way of the world. Yeah. It's unfortunate that, but then again, in the fiction of this show, Nan is fighting for a bill that would stop that.
Theoretically. And they literally have this conversation where she says, "This is what home is to me, Nan and Freddie." It's like family. Next scene that they get together, they're going out to lunch or out to eat. And he's like, I thought about what you said, and look, I got 2 tickets to paradise here. We're going to leave for London on Thursday. How do you feel about that? And she's like...
And you can stay with Nan.
And she's like, I don't think you quite heard what I was trying to say here, okay? Home can be anywhere I want. It doesn't mean London, and it doesn't necessarily mean Nan. Nan is great. Nan is family. Nan is home, but I let's just figure it out. But she starts to feel a tightness in her chest. And that she's had it since...
He's like, I felt it too this whole time.
Yeah. And it's worry, it's fear. And he's like, what was it? What will people say when they come back together? That they didn't fail, that they got back together. And she's like, why me? You could have chose anyone else. You could have chose Lizzy. He goes...
And when she said that, I think that is one of the most... I think it's a really clever way of telling the story of like, as of this moment, she's choosing to not be the victim again.
Yeah.
In favor of comfort.
Right. And he doesn't know what to say. He goes still, and he's just like, it was always you. I don't know what you're talking about. But she is not ready to bounce to London. She's like, this is moving too fast. And Dave, I think you're correct, because you called this out last week. He's probably trying to offer to a loony bin as soon as she gets to London.
Yes, he said it. He told Nan that.
Yeah. So can't trust him. Can't trust him as far as you can throw him. Mm-hmm. And we can't.
But meanwhile, I do think I think we can. This segues right into the guy and Paloma of it all, because Paloma comes over and he's like, "Hey, I thought you were with Jenny." And she goes, "No, I thought you were with Jenny." And he's like, "What? Then where's Jenny? We need to find Jenny." And then this sort of boils over into like, "Hey, I saw you at that wedding with that big-eyed woman."
Uh-huh.
And who is that? And then guy's like, "Look, I got to tell you, I'm not Jenny's husband. We're on the run." And he fesses up, and you can see Paloma's like, "Oh, yeah? Okay. And then they start drinking.
They start making portraits of each other that are really bad.
Uh-huh. And they start running all over town, and she punches him in the face.
Yeah, he's like, do it. Come on. Hit me. Lean into it. Let's go.
Great first date, right?
Just punches him right in the face. I loved it. And yeah, they're just drinking a lot of red wine. It is flowing.
Mm-hmm. But once he's on the ground after the punch, she gets on top of him, and it's like, here we are. Paloma and Guy.
Yeah, I said this last week. When she was looking at him, I told you it wasn't just a look of like, oh, something more is going on here. It's more like, man, he's just another, she thought less of him for a second and disappointed in him, where you could tell that there's something that intrigued her about him. Yeah, I mean, they're dancing, and then before that, they're dancing in bed. They're getting it all on.
Yep. Just like that. Real fast.
Yeah. Guy, 2 weeks in a row now. Just getting it in.
Good for him.
I'm sure it's been a long few months of celibacy for him.
Well, I mean, it's an unmarried man in the 1800s, so one would assume it's always a long time unless you're going to brothels or married. It's
true.
So no wonder Nan like rots away at his brain. He did something horribly amoral for the time to hook up with her before her wedding. So for this he wakes up and he's like next to Paloma and he's like, "Oh my God, look at this!"
Yeah. Oh, my pants wet.
And they go in the fountain.
They went in the fountain.
It's like you drank a ton of wine. You could have just gotten up and peed on your pants or something like that.
Yeah. Were they recreating like the opening to Friends or something like that in the fountain there? Just dead splashing around.
And he says to Paloma, he goes, "I felt young again." It's like, Nan is 19. How old are you supposed to be? Guy, are you 22? I felt young again. What is young?
I felt like I did last year.
What is young that then leads to sleeping together? Because when you're 22, young is 18.
Guy's been through it, man.
Yeah, Guy had
really
been through it. But he still has great hair and great skin.
Incredible hair and skin. Like, come on. But, this is funny. Jenny in this episode, she looks a little burnt on the skin. A little too much time in the sun.
She wants out. She wants back to England.
Yeah, it needs to be a little cloudier. It's doing Guy well, though.
But Paloma starts to get ready to go, and she's like, "This is cool.
No guarantee on another time. Had fun.
Yeah, and this kind of bothered me because I feel like this is a trope you see, and I think you see this in like Bridgerton too, where like the beautiful foreigners all about a no strings attached relationship, and I think that's kind of like is all of the Italian fiction from the 1850s to the 1950s, like the women and the men just sleep with whoever they want, and it's like no, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the world was much more prudish, unless someone could tell me otherwise, which I could be wrong.
Well, I think
it's
go
very
to Italy,
stereotypical.
Dave. We need to go to Italy and find out.
Yeah, find out what happened 200 years ago.
Yeah,
But I think it's I feel bad for how Paloma is written, and I hope by the function of the show that it's not a one night stand. But if it is, we know how the show moves.
Well, Dave, I mean, you're missing the big scene where we see her just walking around eating bread. Mm-hmm. Just a whole loaf of bread. I love that. Like, I drank so much the night before. I need carbs. I need to soak it up. Just get a solo loaf of bread by myself.
She should have her hair of the dog too. They should show her like a Bloody Mary or something like that.
She drops the bread, and as she goes to pick up the bread, she looks at her hand. What do we see, Dave?
A ring.
They may have gotten married, brother. Guy
Good for them.
and Paloma. I don't know, man. Like, this is so lightning fast. Like, for real? Are we supposed to believe that Guy and Paloma got married?
I don't know. I think it's a misdirect.
You think?
I mean, if they are married, they will not end the series married.
Okay.
She'll play something where, or they'll just try to have him go back to England, and she's, someone says, "Speak now or forever hold your peace," and she pops in and says, "You're married to me. I'm pregnant," or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a real marriage, especially if you did it while splashing around the fountains.
Yeah, they go find a priest or something like that. What church is like? Yeah, sure.
I need to know more about this.
Yeah, we need to know more.
So that's Italy.
That's Italy.
That's it. And that's all for them.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, love to go back there.
Where do we go now? Do you want to talk about Mabel and Mabel's mom?
Yeah.
There's really only like two more things to talk about. Three more. One little thing.
Well, we see that Conchita's been decorating her house.
Yep, she's throwing the pre-party for the wedding.
No sign of bridalcy. Ever since she moved into episode 2 and they made a whole to-do about it.
Yeah.
It's 3 episodes later. No reference.
Well, I mean, they used her to move the story with Cora along, and now Cora's gone. Mm-hmm. But she's doing this.
She did really move along that Cora story to go make it go nowhere.
And she sits down with Mabel and she's like, "Look, I'm sorry. Should have been honest with you." And Mabel's like, "What do you want to? You want to like? I can handle myself. I'm Mabel.
Conchita, you're one of my oldest friends."
Yeah. Which is really disappointing, but also like, this is the kind of thing that if Mabel's family has money, and we're led to believe they do, I would say, like, well, I appreciate, if I were you, I would have done the same thing. I just would have been a little more honest. Like, I'm totally cool with you taking my family's wealth because I'm here to get married. We'll just play this game together. I feel like they should be working together to benefit from the Elmsworth fortune being used that way. But, we'll see.
Yeah. So a lot of this episode is just Mabel having second thoughts about her relationship with Honoria.
Which came out of nowhere.
Absolutely. Because Reede is back this episode.
Reed Robinson. Grandpa.
Yeah, sorry.
Or Hector's dad.
Had it backwards there. He's back, and he sees Honoria at this at Lizzie's engagement party. And engagement party or a pre-party?
It's a pre-party. It's like a welcome party.
Yeah, and she's telling Honoria, like, hey, if you want to be a teacher back in where I come from, where it's all French, and teach some English, there's a role for you. You can go out and see the world, make the best of it.
Uh-huh.
And
Mabel's like, you want to tell me about that?
Yeah, she keys in on that immediately, like, hey, I've seen the world. I've done a lot of things. Maybe you should try that too, I don't want to hold you back. And I don't know what it is that specifically that triggers Mabel to say this to Honoria, because even Honoria is kind of caught off guard. Like, You sure? We finally got a room to ourselves. We can do whatever we want.
Well, who is it? Is it Conchita's like, oh yeah, Conchita says, well, look at Honoria. She's never been happy in her life. And now all of a sudden she's super happy. And, Mabel's connecting the dots like, oh, she's just coming into herself. Yeah. Because now she can be with a woman. Mm-hmm. And it does feel like something where I thought Mabel would be more protective. But instead she's sort of like, you love it, let it go kind of thing and see if it comes back.
Yeah.
But this is very sloppy to me. I'm a little perturbed.
It's a little thin that her Mabel's conversation with Conchita would trigger something within her to say like, oh yeah, maybe Honoria should go out and see more. This whole conversation about settling down and finding out what's right for me. Like I just I can't connect the dots all the way. Although it does have the little moment though where Mabel's telling this to Conchita, and you see Miss Elmsworth eavesdropping and kind of feeling sad that her daughter can't be happy, especially with all her friends getting married already. But yeah, they have a cute moment where Mabel gives a speech for Lizzy,
Great moment. This is probably my favorite moment of the episode, even though it's totally hollow because of everything that's going on with Lizzy and Hector.
Yeah, there's three things about Lizzy, which is that she likes sweets in the morning.
Wanted 10 kids.
Wants 10 kids, and she likes a blue cat.
Wanted a baby blue cat that could juggle. Those were her dreams when she was 6 years old. And she goes, Hector, you can do the first two. I'm going to do the third one. And then Honoria comes out dressed as a cat and starts juggling. And in my head, I'm like, this is two gay people or this is a couple that plan this together. Mm-hmm. Very much plays like I asked my partner to help me with this. The silly
people with the flair can do something really inventive. I agree with you though, Dave, that like this is a really sweet moment. It is nice to see that kind of connection between Lizzy and Mabel because we don't get enough of that. And yeah, I feel like I would have felt a lot more tugs at my heart if this wasn't going to be a sham of a marriage that we'll talk about shortly. And there's one more beat with Mabel after this, isn't there?
The mom, Montreal.
Yeah, because she sits
one of the
down.
strange. I thought this was out of left field with a character that we really don't know a lot about. To have this emotional moment where Mrs. Elmsworth is like, "Look, I spent a lot of time in Montreal, and it was my first love. Mm-hmm. And then a guy asked me to go to New York, and I went to New York. And then you don't love New York like you love Montreal." And I watched this like twice through, and I was like, I get what she's saying, but I think it's so clunky.
I mean, I kind of get it. That she's like saying, I thought I'd found what I was looking for when I visited Montreal. Like, my world expanded, and, like, it was awesome. But what she's saying is she went elsewhere, and she realized, oh, it's not just Montreal. There's a whole world out there. So, like, why settle, like, when you think you found something good when there's just so much more to explore? So she's kind of encouraging her, like, okay, so London didn't work out to you. Going back to New York is not going to solve that. You got to keep
because that's what Mabel says, I want to come back with you.
Exactly. And so she's kind of encouraging her, like, no, stick it out. Find something else that'll work for you. It is so funny, though, that this change of heart from Miss Elmsworth really hinges on those 2 seconds of that cutaway to her listening in on Mabel earlier in this episode. So if this is like a casual watcher of the show and you had your phone out and you missed that, it'd be like, man, Miss Elmsworth really became friendly out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
she gives me big, what's the Featherington vibes. I've probably said that before.
From Bridgerton.
Like, she seems like a little nasty and sort of goal-oriented with her two daughters, but then you see her in the moments where she's vulnerable, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
She can parent.
Yeah, they could have gave us another moment to build up to her, having that connection with Mabel. But it did work. I do think it got through to Mabel, or conveyed to us at least, that, don't just try to ship off Honoria and then, like, I don't know, or maybe it is telling her even more to ship off Honoria, that, like, this isn't the end of, your line for what you need to do in your life. I don't know. Big choices for Mabel to figure out what she wants to do with her life.
Yeah.
Mabel does get a good quip in here, though. I think because when all the women are together, when Nan returns, she's telling them about how Ginny has become a cook in Italy, and Mabel says, what are they, living on toast? Because can Ginny actually cook out there? I don't know. That actually made me cackle.
Well, we know she can't.
Yeah, no, she's not that good of a cook, actually. So, Robinson Reed? No, Reed Robinson.
Reed Robinson. You want to talk about that? This is really fast but satisfying. Mm-hmm. Unlike Guy Thwart, which, by the way, we missed the fact that Paloma goes, I'm so glad that you weren't the one that Ginny was talking about when you said bad in bed.
Yeah, that's great. Guy can do the job.
Yeah.
By the way, when we say Guy, my brain immediately goes to Guybrush Threepwood from Monkey Island. That's what I want to hear.
It's a deep pull for a lot of...
Yeah, for people who play the
Not
video
a Guy
game.
Smiley fan from the Sesame Street?
No, I'm it's the thwa sound in Guy.
Oh, Guy Thwart. Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It's for all the Monkey Island fans out there. Anyways.
Yeah, all three of you.
Yeah. So the Dowager Duchess shows up at this party, and she's got a smile. And she tells Reed Robinson, Nan's going to take...
This is great. Hector's like, there's a guest for you.
Oh, you're right. Because, yeah, there's a nice moment.
It's Hector's dad. It's talking about it. Yeah, they're talking about his wedding.
I think this is the first time we really saw them engaging at all as a father-son on the show.
I really like Hector. I feel like so terrible with what they're doing with him. I know, granted, he's shown a temper, which, as we know in these shows, means that he might be evil. But
not really.
Well, in real life, people get angry all the time.
His nose is too much in the papers, man. He's too much of a reader.
Oh, yeah.
That's his problem. Because, like, Reed Robinson is saying, like, son, I want to have a moment with you. Stop reading the paper, man. Come on. I'm your father. Mm-hmm. But Dowager rolls up, and she's a guest for Reed. And she says, guess what? Nan's going to take care of things. I heard about her grand plan. I think Theo's on board for them to have an open marriage. That means we can do our thing.
Yeah.
And it's sweet, where it's like... it could be their time that they can look past their foolishness. And he says, are you looking for elder foolishness? And then she says, with your knees? I was like, are you? Wow.
She goes in.
Reed with his knees. What is he going to do to you? Dowager Tentacles? Elaborate. It's actually because they like to dance a lot. That's really what it is. Elder foolishness.
I mean, it's a wedding. But then they kiss, and it's like, yes, thank you.
They just know how to act, these two. They really know how to sell, like, longing and, like, desire.
Well, I think this is one of my big gripes with this show in general, is that some things are handled so well and so they're so satisfying. Like, this is a 3-episode arc, basically. We meet the two of them and we find out that they had something, but they both had different partners. Second time they come around, she's on the outs, and he comes to comfort her, and he offers her an out, and she says, no, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. This time around, they come together, and she goes, I thought about what you said. We're two adults. Let's do it. And it's not a difficult story. It's not a complicated story, but it's so wonderfully put together and emotional and performed. Yes, exactly. And I think that this show needs maybe an acting coach or something like that, or emotional coach.
I think they're just asking a lot of these actors, and that's the material itself. It's these young people in the throes of love, but like when you juxtapose the two, it really underscores what is missing from the younger side of things. Because this episode hinges on the relationship with Theo and Lizzy, and so I think it's time we start to talk about that and unpack it.
Yeah. So Lizzy, still very much engaged to Hector Robinson.
Yep. As we mentioned earlier, they're still hooking up all the time, Theo and her.
Yep, a lot. Multiple times. And he says to her, don't get married. Don't marry him. Mm-hmm. And she's the recurring theme between these two is she's saying, well, do you just want me to spend my life as your mistress?
And he's like, yeah.
Well, you can see in his eyes he's conflicted about that because he knows what are the other options,
Yeah. There's not much else for her to do then. And Lizzy feels that conflict. We see her staring at her wedding dress. And
she talks to Mabel about it.
Right, because she's breaking down. And Mabel correctly guesses, like, it's about Theo. And asks, was it once? And Lizzy's like, nah.
Now, this makes me worry about a baby. The amount of times this happened.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We're going to get Paloma and Lizzy having a double baby shower.
Theo makes her feel free. Free.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of those moments where I think they really find the way, and I think Aubrey E. Bragg, I don't know if I pronounced her last name right, who plays Lizzy, is one of the better performers of the young people because, this whole time, no one's cool with, like, infidelity storylines. You're not like, heck yeah, I love that these two are hooking up when they're betrothed or married. But when she said, I didn't think I was ever going to feel anything for another person after what happened with Lord Seaton, you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot that was a thing because of the pace of the show. And in that moment when she says that, you're like, I can't disagree with her motivations. Like that, she was abused.
Yeah, and they keep pushing her towards Theo where, they say, like, what if she wakes up with a ache in her chest because of the wrong man? Mm-hmm. And this is actually maybe where we're missing dots here, because I think in this conversation, she tells Mabel, like, she had her sheriff creeping around and maybe it's make-believe and that fever's pass. And maybe that's, I think, what Mabel internalizes to think, like, oh, maybe this is what's going on with Honoria. Like, it's, I guess we need to give them credit that they do give us that breadcrumb to maybe spark.
Yeah, there are layers here.
Yeah. It's just not very convincing, I think, is what we were getting at earlier, given how happy Honoria and Mabel seem to be. But yeah, Hector and Lizzy, they're at the party. And there's a woman who comes up to Lizzy and she's like, don't do it. Very like
what? Very like A24. Don't do it. What? Yeah. Tell me.
Very sinisterly, and she's like, "Don't take this wonderful man off the market." And it's like, well, why did you just say it like that?
That's like a Treehouse of Horror joke. It turned into that.
Well, who are you, weirdo? Get out of here. And she's like, you'll have him your whole life. And Heavenly, tomorrow's and Hector reaffirms, like, tomorrow's just a day. The wedding's for everyone else. This marriage is for
Good guy,
us.
Hector.
He's solid.
I like this guy.
Yeah. And so, Hector gives a toast to Miss Elmsworth. He says, he's the luckiest man in the world. Thank you for, giving me your daughter here. They're all just hanging out, but Hector has someone to talk to about the bill there. And Nan has shown up, and he's like, Nan, we got to go talk to this person about the bill. You're my right-hand person in this bill that is so important. And at that moment, Theo puts his hand on the back of Lizzy, which is insane. You're at a public party, man. He tells her to meet at the park at 4. He even grabs her fingers.
Nope.
Come on, man. Come on. And so, what is it? From there, Lizzy's kind of still a mess, right?
Yep. Still sort of treading this show treads water a lot, and we have conversations about, like, oh, am I going to just continue to be your mistress? A shameful secret.
Mm-hmm. And he has no good answers for her because he's like, I don't know. Because is this where he talks about he tells her, like, for a moment there, like, with Nano, I can have an open marriage or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, he's showing no consideration for her stature in life, where it's like, she literally will never be on your level of esteem, and you're asking her to kind of stay in place and not be married.
She says she'll marry Hector because Hector offers stability. Hector offers a life.
Yeah. That's everything she wanted.
Yeah, and maybe it's not the butterflies or whatever, the chest pain that they keep talking about. But
she gets dressed in white. She looks gorgeous. Stunning.
Great. Yeah, very modern-looking bride.
Yeah. And all the friends, Nan and Mabel and Conchita, all of them are in different colors. We see Theo hanging out against this awful CGI backdrop of Big Ben and the water there. Like, they just CGI in this background behind Theo. And it's like, come on, man. We know he's standing on a soundstage. Come on. Did they have to do that? And then the music swells, and the man is off. It's a rom-com running to stop the wedding from happening. Yeah, he's even doing the full body shuffle. It's a really exaggerated running movement. It's not a good use of your body. And also, I'm not sure why he's not dressed for this wedding already, because Nan is there. You think he'd already be somewhere else getting ready. Instead, he's just been killing time out there. And he catches Lizzy before she walks in.
Yeah, and even like Nan and company are in the church. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Come here, let's talk. I gotta talk to you here."
And he says, "Don't get married unless you're certain, like you are with me."
But he says, "Don't." But he this is great. This is a great moment for Theo.
Yeah, he says, "Don't get
because
married."
he's basically says like, "Look, I can't give you what you want, and I acknowledge that, and I apologize. But if you don't love this guy, don't marry him either."
Yeah.
Like you can find someone that's as good for you can find the kind of love that we have
You can
with
do
somebody
better.
else.
Just give
And
it
you
a shot.
see she starts like welling up, and this is well performed. Theo does a good. I think Theo's a great moment for Theo here.
It's convincing.
Big emotional growth.
He sells the moment.
He goes, "If you want to marry him, I'll be in the back, stinking like sweat and the sea."
Yeah, I'm not a clean person, but I'll love you. And this is where we leave things, because someone asked for Lizzy, and it's just like, does she have an answer? What is she going to do?
See you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Good ending. Great.
I almost want to push play on the next episode, but I was like, no, gonna have to wait a week.
Can't do it. But I thought really good ending to an okay episode.
Yeah, the character decisions were pretty frustrating this episode.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the power rankings.
Yeah, you start us off. Who's going down?
3, I got Ginny.
Okay.
The fact that she's contemplating the season and he's getting inside her head, and it's really heartbreaking to see her all alone while Guy and Paloma are pounding it out next door. Like, it's really a shame. Like, I feel for her.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got Mabel at number 3 going down.
Okay, yeah.
She has this idea put in her head, perhaps rationally, perhaps irrationally, that her and Honoria need to split, and there's still this sort of pressure, even if her mom's like, follow your heart, do what you got to do. She's the 11th wheel of this group of friends.
Yeah.
And even it's a tough life for her. It's a tough road ahead for someone who's a queer person in this world trying to navigate, and I feel for her.
Yep. Well, number 2 going down, I got Lizzy.
Okay.
She's just put in the toughest of positions here. Like, I mean, Theo's offer is a tough pill to swallow. Like, can't be married. You could be with me. Maybe you could be with anyone else, but don't go to Hector, who is, in all other cases, the man of your dreams. I mean, that's the other thing, too, is she hasn't slept with Hector yet, so she doesn't even know how he compares to Theo. He may even be better.
Yeah. Well,
who knows?
who knows?
But I feel for her. She's like, it's not fair of her what Theo is asking of her. And she's in some ways put in this position because Nan had to marry Theo because she wanted to protect her sister. It's all wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got Ginny at number 2 for pretty much the reasons that you said, and it's just a rough look for her. She's like her emotional decision to tell Lord Seaton, like, I don't know about this. I'll see you later.
Yeah,
is not a victory. It's like it's the right decision, but it's not a good decision. And like she has no good options right now.
Sure.
So I feel for her.
Yeah. Well, number 1 going down, I got Mabel.
Really?
I just cannot stand by her shooing off Honoria to go teach English somewhere where they speak French, because like it just seems so forced. Like I get now, remembering this episode and that conversation with Lizzy where it's like, yeah, like maybe it's a fever or whatever. I'm just not convinced enough has transpired for Mabel to give second thoughts to how she feels about Honoria and what they have going for them. It just seems so forced to give them some drama heading into the backstretch of the season where it's just not necessary. And she's Honoria is just so confused over what Mabel's trying to communicate here. And you do feel for Mabel, too, a little bit when she's talking to her mom about, like, I don't know if there's anyone there out there for me. And I think she is speaking, like, existentially, like, what if I'm kind of cursed to kind of be in this place that I'm in?
Yeah, be a spinster.
She feels very lost. And so it's frustrating that it's impacting others, too. And, yeah, I feel for her.
Sure. Yeah, well, I got Lizzy at number 1 because... This is her wedding. This is her episode. And it's really hard. The first thing that we see of her is her continuing to commit adultery with her friend's husband. And then the moment where her friend returns, she's there in her underwear, hiding behind a mirror. Like, the shame going through her person must be, like, through the roof. And then to continue to be emotionally played by Theo and Hector, you know, I'm not saying that she is definitely a participant in this, so she's not guilt-free, but you just feel like this is a lose, 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 lose for her.
Part of me thinks if she just announced herself to Nan in that moment, it would play better than her waiting and sneaking behind Nan with Theo. It's only making it worse.
And I think that, like, what she says to Mabel, like, she didn't think that she was under the assumption that Nan was going to be with Guy. Like,
yeah.
Not to say that it's morally correct, but she didn't act without knowing that. Mm-hmm. So I think you feel for her.
You wonder too, has it gone around? Does everyone know that Guy's good in bed? Do you think Nan kept that to herself or told
is Nan his first?
Might have been.
He's Nan's first, so Nan doesn't know what better is. I mean, it's Theo, but we know she's not thinking about Theo, and she doesn't complain about Theo.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Dave, who's going up?
We'll find out. Well, number 3, I got Theo.
Yeah, I got Theo at number 3 also. He is definitely going up.
This is because he is still under the assumption that his wife is off in in Italy with his former best friend, and they're, you know, living their life happily together. And he is in the Theo way because we've always talked about how he might be a little neurodivergent. He's a little different. He does things his own way. His speech to Lizzy at the end, like, it doesn't have to be me, but you got to be in love. And I can't provide you that love, but don't do this thing.
Yeah.
To just, I think it's a very mature moment I think it's his way of basically saying, like, we can't do this anymore. Yeah. But you need to find someone that you love.
Yep. That scored in the number 3 spot for me as well. It was a very convincing moment. And so good on Theo.
Yeah. Well, number 2, I got a Dowager Duchess of Tintagel and Reede Robinson, because it's what we've been waiting for. We only needed one scene. She walks in. She's like, look, I figured it out. My daughter-in-law is back. She's going to handle my emotional stuff that I thought I would have to do. I don't have to do it. So guess what I can do? Rickety knees over here, Reede.
Get on him.
He's just like, yep, let's go.
Yeah.
And this is a good kiss. We like a good emotional smooch.
Yeah,
and they do it. So good for them.
I liked what I saw there. There was some chemistry to that kiss.
Yes, definitely.
Well, number 2, speaking of chemistry, I got Paloma and Guy at number 2.
Okay.
These two are something. It really, actually, there is more of a crackle with Guy in his interactions with Paloma than we've ever seen with him and Nan. Him with Nan is always him just kind of like longingly looking at her, telling her like we're meant to be or whatever. With Paloma, it's just like, that's a terrible drawing, but I like it anyways. I like red wine. I like to dance in fountains. I like to get punched in the face. I like it rough. I like their chemistry. I want to see more of them too. I like it.
Yeah. Well, for that reason, I have Guy at number 1 because I feel like this is the exhale Guy needed.
Yeah.
Nan put him in a real spot last week with what she said, and I said it about the food fight 2 weeks ago that something's up. Guy is going to be with Ginny or Mabel, or not Mabel, maybe Ginny or Paloma or both, and I think the sparks are there, and I think he needs that moment of like, I'm viable, I'm a good man, I'm desirable, I can have a great life. I don't need to spend the rest of my days pining for Nan.
There's other women out there. Who knew? Well, number 1, I got the Dowager Duchess.
Good for her.
Yeah, she is so winning in that moment of being like, I'm finally free, and let's kiss. Let's do a little bit more than that. Who knows? And I'm just so glad that she sees the moment of like Nan's half-hearted gesture to Theo to be like, you know what? Well, that's good enough for me to kind of reignite this thing with Reede Robinson. So let's go for it. So hats off to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that is this week on the Buccaneers. So we got 3 episodes left, Dave.
Yeah, that's great. It's crazy. We're in November. Wild.
I know. Who knew we'd get here this far, this fast?
Mm-hmm.
Dave, anything else going on with you? Watching anything good?
Yeah, well, I watched a movie and then I went on Letterboxd and I saw that you had watched the same movie that I watched.
Really?
So I have a difficult time celebrating the Halloween season with my girlfriend because she is she can't do scary at all. So,
Okay.
you know, our media consumption time is much smaller than it was pre-baby, obviously. But, you know, we're trying to find a good movie to watch, and we watched Death Becomes Her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think we both went down the rabbit hole of why do people love this movie after we watched it. And we understand it, but I think both of us were kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
there's a camp appeal of it, especially now that it's on Broadway right now. It's getting a lot of theater kids to talk it up, and there is, you know, like the two women cat fighting throughout, and it's all about vanity and looks and stuff. There's just a dark tinge to it that just never sat right with me. Like it just feels a little.
Was it
bit,
your first time seeing it when you watched it
first
recently?
time seeing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It just like I like Robert Zemeckis' movies, you know, Roger Rabbit and Back to the Future, and there's a bit of that sharp touch here, but it just felt acidic in terms of the comedy. You know, it just didn't like land for me. I didn't like anyone in there, and you don't have to like anyone in the movie for it to be good, but it wasn't funny to me seeing these two people I don't like argue. There was some impressive visual effects, and I think Bruce Willis was miscast too. I just didn't buy him as like the nebbish, no good husband.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of you put other people from that time period. I mean, like Moranis is still going. You would have been.
Oh yeah,
you would have fit.
Fine.
I think Zemeckis is kind of it's tough because I think people love Forrest Gump. I think a lot of people also hate Forrest Gump, and the reasons people hate Forrest Gump is because of how like sickly sweet it is and how like boomer, you know, it is. And I think after the Back to the Future trilogy, feels like he kind of loses his fastball, and
yeah,
he finds it again in the 2000s when he starts doing movies like Castaway, you know, things like that, a little bit more serious stuff, sort of in the wake of Gump.
Yeah.
But this one seems like, what happened? Like, where'd you lose it? And because I remember seeing part of this in college on TV, and it's, you know, Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn, like the fighting and the hole in the stomach, and I was like, oh, this movie looks fun. I really want to see the rest of this movie, and I just never got the chance. And now I did, and I was like, eh.
I think it's the beginning and end of it. You know, it's like those visual effects.
Yeah.
Zemeckis is always pushing the format forward, and I think that's all he's got here, really. But happy for the people who enjoy the movie.
Yeah, Corey, you watch anything else aside from that?
I was watching the New York City Marathon yesterday.
That's right. Our friend Justin did it.
Our childhood friend, Justin, who's getting married next year, will be going to that wedding. It was exciting. He's been training like crazy, so it's my favorite time of the year here in the city because they had 59,000 people run it this year, and you just get to shout and cheer people on for a few hours, just random names shouting at people, especially in Central Park, my beloved Central Park, just being able to shout like, this is your place. And I handed out bibs on Friday, and it was so exciting, hyping people up for the race. Like, you're going to win this, right? You know? They told you on the screen.
My dad was high-fiving strangers, too.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh, he should have came out with us. We had a drink or two after Justin finished.
He probably was on his way home at that point.
Yeah. There was one moment, though, where when I was handing out bibs, someone came up, and I thought it was someone from my group runs. I was like, oh, I didn't know you were running the race. Hey, happy for you. Have a good time out there, you know? And she was like, oh, okay, good to see you. Yeah, have fun. Yeah, I'm going to have fun or whatever. I was like, all right, well, I'll see you soon. And then I was looking at the screen. I realized that was not the person I thought it was. The name just did not match the person I knew. And then we had this entire conversation where we acted like we know each other, but
at that point, you'd committed to the conversation.
It was too late. Yeah, we were like 45 seconds into this. Like, we don't know each other at all. Well, yeah, it was awesome too. Like 2/3 of the people from around the country and around the world, like maybe like a fifth or to a third were from New York, about a third. And you could tell they were casual, you know, when they came up to get it, because like, yeah, I'm a New Yorker. Everyone else super excited to be here. People from ages 72 I saw as old as picking up a bib to 20 years old, to which if you're 20, you should be partying in college. I don't know why you're running a marathon. But
that's a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, have fun, I guess. But yeah, it's a blast. I recommend it to anyone. If you have not seen the New York City Marathon or been around the area during that time, it's awesome. Or even just watch it on TV. Just seeing the elites run is just, they are incredible at what they do.
It's humanity at its like
It's
weirdest. Yeah, I mean, to push your body to do that, I think is wild. You've done it. I think it's
I'm
very
doing it again in
admirable.
a few weeks.
Yeah, you're going to Philly.
I'm ready. I'm so eager. It just pumped me up more to do it. And doing it again with our friend Justin, who just did the marathon.
Yeah.
So
Good for what? Yeah. The two of you, good luck. Obviously, we're going to talk before then, but yeah, the marathon, wild.
yeah. All right. Well, that's this week on the Buccaneers and the Lords of Grantham podcast. You want to find us? Facebook Lounge. We have the Lords of Grantham Lounge. If you join our Patreon,
Yeah, if you just send us a DM on Patreon. I feel terrible.
we'll add you. Leave us 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to us, Spotify, iTunes, wherever. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and hit us up Lords of Grantham at gmail.com. We'll see you next time.